How would your first deal be with all three paydays at around the $75,000 to $80,000 mark? Hey guys, it's Chris Preedy with another Deal Structure Sunday. You probably heard us talk so many times about our average as a family company being around the 75 grand mark. That's our experience, all three paydays. Well, I want to welcome Russell Ham from California. Russ, welcome, buddy.
Thanks, Chris, for having me on. Super excited to talk about this deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I called you Moneybags a couple times this week because this is deal number one. And you took a few before here. I think this is your third take and your first cash coming into you, right?
Yep.
Really cool. Just as a teaser for these guys, you actually have your second deal closing next week.
Next week.
Nice. Yep. We'll talk about that in the deal structure overtime, guys, and when we get into a little bit more of the nuances and some of Russell's things he's got going on. So let's talk about this deal. This deal was what was the source?
This is expired from a slide broadcast.
Okay, so for those that are new, Russ, I make the mistake all the time of I'll go like deep and go, oh yeah, they probably don't know that. So What's a slide broadcast in its simplest form?
Yeah, slide broadcast is just a pre-recorded voicemail that we send out to properties that had their realtor's contract expired or was canceled. So we just send out a general voicemail so we can get them to call us back. She called me back and we had a good conversation.
Really cool. Anything about the seller nuances? Let's bring that to the deal structure overtime for these guys, because there's always a story, right? And there's always they want to hear that. So we'll bring that to the overtime.
Yeah.
The type of deal you structured was which type?
It was a 36 month sandwich week.
36 year would be sweet, but 36 month.
36 month.
All right. So again, just for review, Russ, for them. So when we structure a sandwich, instead of talking about sales price, just for review, we talk about, yes, we use a sale price to make a formula, but the formula tells us what's owed, what cash they're getting. So the sale price is this much cash, and we pay off your mortgage. So those two numbers are what, Russ, starting this deal, the cash to the seller and the present mortgage when you started the deal.
The cash to the seller is going to be $415.
Yep.
And then the payoff that we agreed on is $420.
So the $420 is where he starts with the mortgage. So he says to her via an agreement, we're going to pay off your mortgage at the end of the 36 months or before, if the buyer cashes out, and we're going to give you the $415 cash. So is that $420 mortgage going to be the same? No. Russell's going to give you the number here in a minute. Okay, so then we went out. Essentially, that's like an $835 start, but the mortgage is going down. And we went out and we put a tenant buyer in that house at what sale price?
$860.
$860. So not an enormous markup, and we'll talk about it in nuances. But I don't know. I think I may have pushed that envelope a little bit. But deal one, you just want to nail the deal, and let's do so many times to move on. Okay. So $860, the buyer came in with a down payment initially at what, and then how much over time, just so these guys understand. I wish you were always up front, and sometimes we nail that, but more times than not, disclosure, it's overtime.
Yeah. So we got them to 3% up front, which is around 27, I think 27.2 is what we got.
Yeah.
And then we scheduled four ongoing payments through the term, which will equal 65 by the end of the term.
Great. So I want to definitely, Russ, if I forget, in the deal structure overtime that we'll pivot with at the end, I want to go into kind of how the four were structured, and then why and what the person does and all that's good stuff. So overtime, It sounds like a little over 92 grand.
Yep.
Payday one, nice. Payday two, payment to seller, payment from buyer.
Payment to seller is $2531, which is just her mortgage and her taxes.
Okay, and then you got from the tenant buyer?
32.
Almost $700 spread there.
Yep.
Okay.
So over the
669 to be exact.
Yep, 669.
Cool. So payday 224, a little over 24 grand, 24,084.
Yep.
Really nice. Okay, so we got 92, 2, 24. Now, guys, I'm going to talk about this in the overtime, but because he took so much down up front and there's not that much markup, you'll see what the total profit ended up being at the end. Okay, payday 3, Russ, we marked the house up from the base of 835 to the 860, so 25 grand.
Right.
Principal pay down, how much per month?
It's 777, and we could talk about it in the overtime. Originally it was a 15-year loan, which had a huge principal pay down, but she refinanced. So, but we can talk about that later.
Still good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super strong. So over time, that's how much?
27, almost 28,000.
Okay. And again, disclosure, guys, we're basing this on a 36. Sometimes the buyers will max this out and push it all the way to the end. Russ's gut on this is they won't. So we'll give you some numbers in the overtime, what that might look like, shorter distance. Okay, so you're going to take away the 92.2 that we already received. Payday 3 is how much?
Well, negative 39.
Because of the 92.
Right.
So what Russ is going to do, in theory, is put some of that aside. And we'll talk about that in the overtime. And then if you take all 3 paydays, Russ, net?
77,000.
77,052. What kills me, Russ, I think you must have been on at least one call where this came up, where somebody would go, yeah, I got a deal. And it was like 39, they're like bumming, or 40. I mean, it's still a phenomenal deal.
It's an awesome deal. Yeah. Especially for being my first one and being, it's a sandwich, which I'm going to enjoy, being able to kind of see through it,
yeah,
the whole thing and go through all the nuances during the term. It's going to be pretty exciting.
I love it. What's really cool is on this deal is 20, whatever it was, 27, almost, we'll round down, 27 grand up front for your payday 1 at a closing table is not too shabby.
No, it was, as you guys know,
you're not going to get Russ jumping to the screen. He's from California. Okay? It is what it is. I got my 27. I went home. Russ, that's awesome. That's all we get this week, guys, for the deal structure Sunday portion of this. But if you want to catch some more of this deal, Russ and I are going to kind of dive into the nuances of the deal. Head on over to Smart Real Estate Coach Academy and queue up this week's episode of the deal structure overtime. That's where we dive a little bit deeper. Also, you can learn more about this whole series, the deal structure overtime, everything we're doing behind the scenes, and all the other courses by visiting Smart Real Estate Coach Academy.com.